Today, I want to share something that's really close to my heart. I'm sure you'll relate. We've always been told to help our neighbors, be kind, and reach out to those in need. And honestly, that's a beautiful value. But, just between us, sometimes it gets complicated. You've probably been there. You give your time, your energy, maybe even your money, sincerely, because your heart is in the right place. But at some point, you feel drained. That little voice in your head whispers, "Wait a minute. Am I being taken advantage of here?" Here's the thing. We often make a huge mistake. We think being a good person means saying yes to everything, even when it harms us. But that's not true goodness. Constantly trying to be a superhero and save everyone will eventually cost you yourself. And the worst part? You might not even notice it. You believe you're doing something good, but sometimes you're just keeping toxic relationships alive, encouraging dependency, or allowing yourself to be manipulated by people with bad intentions. Even within your own family. In this video, I speak openly. There are 3 types of people you should avoid helping. And believe me, you've probably met them before, maybe even within your own family. I'll explain why. Even if your heart says otherwise, that doesn't mean you should stop being good. Kindness is powerful, but it needs to be used wisely. You know what I mean? So stay with me, because what we're discussing today could completely change how you see things. The first type of person you should definitely not help is the one who refuses to help themselves. I want to share something very important that I've noticed. There are people who simply refuse to take responsibility for themselves. You know exactly who I mean. We all have someone like this around us, maybe a brother, a cousin, or even a best friend. These are the people who constantly complain. "My boss is terrible. I never have money. My life is awful." Does this sound familiar? What really frustrates me is that they always have a perfect excuse ready. As soon as you try to help them, they respond with, "Why don't you just look for another job?" And immediately follow it with, "Yes, but the job market is overcrowded." You suggest cutting down on expenses, and they say, "But I need my Netflix subscriptions and so on for my mood." It's an endless cycle. Here's the craziest part. These people don't actually want a solution. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true. They feel comfortable in their victim role because it gives them something: attention, sympathy, and, listen carefully, a perfect excuse not to change anything. And here's the bitter truth. The more you help them, the more you become their crutch. It's like trying to push a car with a handbrake on. You strain yourself, but the car doesn't move an inch. Some people are just like that. Eternal victims. That's why I advise you, this comes straight from the heart. Listen to their story once or twice, but then ask the crucial question. "Okay, I understand your situation. What do you want to do about it now?" And be specific. What are you actually willing to do to make a difference? This question is powerful because it forces the other person to face their own responsibility. If all you get are excuses again, my friend, it's time to step back and distance yourself. Not angry, but determined. Some people are just like that. No matter what you do, they will never change. You can say something like, "Listen, I care about you and I want your situation to improve, but I can't walk this path for you." And then you let go. Do you know why letting go is so important? Because sometimes the greatest favor you can do for someone is to let them face the consequences of their own choices. People don't change when you constantly save them. They change when they discover their own strength. Only when they are truly up against the wall do they start finding solutions. I know it's tough, especially if it's someone you love or a family member. But sometimes, loving someone also means knowing when to stop helping. This is the only way to give them the chance to grow and take responsibility. So next time you meet someone who refuses to help themselves, remember, your role is not to be their savior. Your role is to support, not to be a crutch. That's a big difference. If you forget it, you'll hit the wall yourself eventually. In the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, there's a principle that shaped me deeply. Flee misfortune like the plague. Some people carry bad luck with them, and if you stay too long, it becomes yours too. In the end, the old saying holds true. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Everyone must make their own choices, and sometimes the best proof of love and support is knowing when to let go. Now, let's move on to the second type of person you should definitely not help. Those who see you as a walking bank or a free service. Honestly, this really frustrates me. These are the people who treat you like your sole purpose is to fund them or be their emergency service around the clock. You know exactly who I mean, like that cousin who only calls at the end of the month. Hey, can you lend me $100? I'll pay you back in 2 weeks, I promise. But 2 weeks turn into 2 months, and then it's completely forgotten. Meanwhile, they're happily posting restaurant photos on Instagram. Sound familiar? Or that person who knows you're good with computers or writing, and suddenly it's, can you take a quick look at my laptop? Can you revise my CV? Can you help me assemble furniture? But when you need help, no one is there. Helping once or twice is fine. But when it becomes a habit, you turn into their plan B, their constant solution. In their eyes, you're no longer a person, you're a service, a mix of bank, consulting office, and emergency breakdown service. Hard truth, but true. And here comes the best part, the day you say no. Sometimes you're just tired or dealing with your own problems. Suddenly, you're the bad guy, selfish, ungrateful, as if you owe them something. Absurd, right? That's why learning to say no is crucial. Not a timid no with 15 explanations, but a clear, calm no. I'm sorry, I don't lend money anymore. Or, my normal rates apply for such services. If someone reacts with offense when you set boundaries, it's a clear sign the relationship was toxic from the start. A true friend, someone who respects you, will understand. They might be disappointed, but they understand. I like to use this image. Imagine your energy, time, and money are like your phone battery. If you let everyone drain it, you'll be empty. And then there's nothing left for the people who truly matter. The ones who are there when you need them. That's why my advice, straight from the heart. Protect your battery. This is not selfishness. This is self-protection. If you don't set boundaries, no one will do it for you. And you know what? When you do, you'll always have the energy to support the people who truly deserve your help, instead of wasting it on the wrong ones. So next time someone asks for a small favor or a little loan, remember, an honest no is 1,000 times better than a yes that eats you up inside. It's not always easy, but it's necessary for your well-being and for healthier relationships. Now, let's move on to the third type of person you should definitely not help. The emotional manipulators or the eternal victims. They are the most dangerous of all. And I'll tell you why. It's truly frightening. These people don't want money or services. They want your energy. They play with your emotions. It's like they have a built-in radar that detects kindness and uses it against you. You recognize them immediately. They are the ones whose life is always full of drama. It could easily be a Netflix series full of twists and turns. But the most insidious part? They make you believe that you are the only solution to all their problems. Beware of such people. They say things like, "I can't do it without you. You're the only one who really understands me. If you really loved me, you would do it for me." Bam. Right in the heart. This isn't a coincidence. It's calculated. And the worst part? It works. You start feeling responsible for their happiness. It's like carrying a backpack that keeps filling up with rocks. At first, you think, "I can handle this." But over time, it becomes so heavy you can hardly breathe. And the more you give, the more they want. It's never enough. They don't even thank you anymore. They just expect it. Your help becomes a given. And it gets worse. These people often try to isolate you. They tell you that no one else understands you, that your relationship is the only one that matters. And before you know it, you start drifting away from your friends, your family, everything that keeps you grounded. You lose your energy, and sometimes even yourself. Think of it this way. Helping an emotional manipulator is like filling a leaking bucket with water. No matter how much you pour in, it's never full. And while you try to fill it, you're the one getting exhausted. That's why my advice, and believe me, this comes from experience, is to set clear, firm boundaries. In some cases, you may even need to cut off contact completely. I know it sounds harsh, but it's either that or you go down with them. For example, you can say, "I see you're going through a hard time, but I can't be your only support. Maybe a professional can help better than I can." Or, "This relationship is too stressful for me. I need some distance." But be warned, they won't like it. Prepare for tears, guilt, anger. That's their toolkit to try and control you. But if you stand firm, I promise, you will breathe freely again. You'll regain your energy, your calm, your freedom. And when they start crying just because you said no, know that it's a tactic. This is not selfishness. This is self-protection. You are not responsible for someone else's happiness. Your first duty is to take care of yourself. Like on a plane during the safety demonstration, you must put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because you can't help anyone if you're unconscious. It's the same in life. If someone is manipulating you emotionally, remember, saying no does not make you cruel. Setting boundaries does not make you a bad friend. You are simply someone who has realized that you cannot save someone by going down with them yourself. And that brings us to the end of this video. I truly hope these thoughts help you protect your energy and well-being. Always remember, saying no is not selfish. It's essential. Your happiness matters just as much as anyone else's. If you like this video, feel free to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes we all need a little reminder so we don't get overwhelmed by the expectations of others. We'll see you again soon in a new video. Take good care of yourself, and don't forget, your kindness is precious. Use it wisely.